This is Caryn Esplin with the Enlighten tour, and here I am in Holland, near Amsterdam, with one of my favorite people in the whole wide world. This is Jip de Drew. Jip, thank you for joining me again. There we go. That's the that's the triple kiss that you do with people you know. And Jip, how often do you give that kind of a greeting to people? Is it best friends, family, or acquaintances?
No, I think it's best friends, families, always. And when you get to know new people, like when you have met them a couple of times, then you do the 3 kisses.
Okay.
But first time, just a handshake. Yeah.
All right. So we've done another interview about the typical Dutch customs here and how they differ with other countries in Europe. I've noticed that the Dutch people in general, after having Jip live with us in America, but also observing the different countries we visited throughout this Enlighten tour, starting in Amsterdam, going through Germany, Italy, France, and Belgium, there's definitely a difference. And I think the Dutch people are more like Americans. You see things written in English more often.
Yes.
They're more accepting and tolerant and kind and helpful to us. And so they're also taller.
Yeah.
It's very noticeable. Even like KLM, when we flew out
to
Amsterdam, all the stewardesses are very tall. But I want Jip to explain why she came as an exchange student to the United States and what that experience was like a little, and then what she's done since then. So go ahead and tell us your story.
Well, I was done with my higher secondary education, and then I made the decision to do a high school year. And the main reason for that actually was that my English was not that good, and I always had the dream to become a cabin attendant, so a stewardess. So I needed to have good English for that. So that's actually the prime reason why I wanted to do a high school year. And of course I wanted to know more about the culture and have this experience. So when I was 17 years old, I was placed by an entity in Rexburg. And I had a very good time there. In the beginning it was kind of a cultural shock. I mean, it was so different, and I had some moments when I was like, oh no, I can't do this anymore. I want to go home. But I stayed with it, and I was with the Esplins, and we did so many fun things, and it was a great time. And my mom actually got to visit in March, so we went to San Francisco. We've been to Las Vegas, so it was a great experience.
Her parents came out.
Yeah,
also?
when the graduation was, my parents attended, and we got to go to the cabin, to Island Park and
Yellowstone.
Yeah.
And Jip also went to high school then in Rexburg at Madison High School.
Yeah.
Attended that year and graduated with the class there. So she had the whole graduation experience.
Yes.
Well, we just love Jip. She's so awesome. Just a part of our family. So it's been great to get reacquainted.
Yes.
But then after you left, what have you done since then?
Well, of course I wanted to keep practicing my English, so I decided to go to college, and I studied international business and languages, which was taught in English. 4 years of college, and here I am in the end.
Just finishing it.
I'm just finishing up, yes. So I wrote a thesis, and I actually heard last weekend that it got accepted. So very good.
Now you defend your thesis.
Yes, and that's next week, and then hopefully I'm done.
So you do that for a bachelor's degree here?
Yes.
That's awesome. And what school did you attend? What university?
It's the higher education of Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, right in the city.
It's right in the city. So I used to live in Amsterdam when I returned. So I lived there for 4 years. And I also spent a half a year in Barcelona for studying. That was last half year.
Yes.
And now I live in Alkmaar together with my boyfriend, which I'm with for 4 years already now. So that's very fun. And actually the vacancy for stewardess got open up in May. So I decided to apply for this job. And
if you are a flight attendant with KLM, you can come to Salt Lake City and visit us, and we can travel together.
Yes, that would be great.
That's awesome. All right, so you work at a restaurant, right?
Yes,
and your boyfriend as well.
Yeah.
And you wait at tables.
Yes.
And how is that different than it would be in the United States?
Yeah, how will that? Well, as I explained in the previous interview, that people go out for dinner here because they have something to celebrate, or they just want to have fun together, and it's not like a hurry. It's more like 2-3 hours. You just sit at a table and have good conversations, and well, as how you wait there or be a waitress there, is just make sure that everybody's happy, satisfied. They have drinks, and you just make sure that everything is going in the right track. And
but they don't tip as well here.
no, that's a different thing, because here the people in the restaurants get paid pretty much. Well, I mean, compared to America, it's more.
So you get more salary.
More salary,
but
yes.
hardly any tips.
Yes. So it used to be 10% of the bill, but now it got down to 5%. And I mean, sometimes people don't even give any tip. So
Different than the US.
we talked about it, and it's very different.
So they don't get very high wages, but they rely on tips, and they really. And so that's why it's important. They want to get more people through the restaurant to get more tips. They're
in America,
motivated
yes.
to move fast, bring the check. And it's a lot different.
And here you
culture.
have to request, and people just sit
Slow
and sit
down.
and sit. Yeah.
Yes, because you get paid by the hour. It doesn't matter how many people.
No.
No rush.
No.
Okay, so you're just graduating, finishing your thesis. You're applying with KLM to be a flight attendant. And what's next? You're living with your boyfriend. Now, let me explain. When Yip came to live with us, I'm LDS, so I'm a Mormon. And that was pretty interesting, because coming from a very liberal place like Amsterdam and the Netherlands, that was a big culture shock. But I was so impressed with how well Yip accepted us, and she didn't just tolerate it. She came with us every Sunday. She read scriptures with us. She said prayers, and she took her turn saying prayers with our family and joined in as a family member. And it meant a lot to us. That she would be so kind and accepting of that. And everyone in our ward, we live in the community that goes to the same church, they all fell in love with her. And they all just loved Yip so much for accepting and being part of that and having it be part of her experience.
Yes, it was great.
And she told us that there's a temple nearby, so we were able to visit that temple.
Yeah, in The Hague.
And I noticed there are no gates and fences around the ward buildings that we went to this morning and the temple. Everywhere else, the other countries, they have to have gates locked because they get terrorist threats and they have people who cause trouble. And not here in the Netherlands. It's a different culture, definitely. So thank you for your love and acceptance and your tolerance, and for sharing some of your customs and your time. It was great to see you again.
Great.
All right, this is Caryn and Yip from the Netherlands with the Enlighten tour.
And we end by saying goodbye.
That's
Goodbye.
right.